chief. One of which is actually related to a big event we do every year, National Night Out. It's this wonderful event where we bring the community together with the local PSD folks and kind of mingle. We have food, we have some music. It's really fun. It's right out here on the plaza. And we'll be doing that Tuesday, August 6th this year. So just wanted to make mention of that. The other thing that I wanted to mention very quickly is something that comes up at a lot of these meetings, which is stop signs and people actually adhering to them and listening to them and utilizing what's in place. So we actually installed 2 brand new stop signs. They're PS217 that light up. They are solar powered. You can see them very well in both the daytime and nighttime. But this was a suggestion that came up a lot in these meetings where folks always said, you know, one thing that could help out would be light up stop signs to let motorists know that, you know, we can't be blowing through crosswalks and creating a dangerous situation for people. So we installed, the RIOC maintenance team installed 2 new stop signs. Again, they're PS217. We're testing them in those locations to make sure that they get enough sunlight to be powered properly. And we're going to look into expanding where they are on the island, including down Main Street. But you know, the Main Street corridor is sometimes cut off by sunlight a little bit. So that's something we have to think about and work through. So far the feedback has been very positive for these new stop signs. And, we are thrilled that we were able to make that a reality. And with that, I will turn it over to Chief Brown.
Good evening. I hope that you guys can hear me. I chose not to use a microphone. I can stand closer or as far away as you like. But you know, I'm glad that a few people came down. Just so I really, really appreciate RIOC giving me the opportunity to just come out here, answer questions on behalf of RIOC. We have, I say on behalf of our interim CEO, Javika Amin, who's been phenomenal to me, and with the support that she has for public safety. Bryant Daniels, again, phenomenal, and Mary Canine and Lada Stratos. Lada, they have been part of the new administration that is running RIOC. And the one thing that I do ask as the Chief of Public Safety is that, you know, that they support us, you know, that they give us direction, tell us how they want us to, you know, have our community policing in place, because I think community policing is the key, especially in this community. Hearing in community policing, what I mean by that is hearing the voices of the community. Listen to people. Let's make changes to things that we can change and things that we can do with the community input. Like Brian just mentioned, at these community meetings, we've heard about the stop signs, and one of the excuses of the people who run the stop signs and public safety gives them tickets is that they didn't see the sign. That the sign, that, you know, all of a sudden they didn't see it. But now we have them, they light up, and now you can see them in the day and night. That cuts down on some of the, you know, the excuses. But we hear the community who say we have to police the stop signs because one of the laws of the land is that the pedestrians are always right. That there is no such thing as a car that if you didn't see someone in the crosswalk, it is the pedestrian. They always have the right of way. And it is up to the motorists to stop at all times. Whether they saw the stop sign, you know, they have to stop for a pedestrian. So we're trying to, especially the cars are not going fast. They're going, you know, 15 to 20 miles an hour, but still getting, you know, hitting the crosswalk is an event. It is something that, you know, you can be injured, and I have seen that at a few occasions where people have been injured in the crosswalk. So we start out with 2 stop signs, and we'll see how it goes, how we can, you know, bring it back to as many stop signs as possible. One of the things I like to talk about, Brian mentioned it also, National Night Out for Policing. It is a day when the local law enforcement, and it'll be public safety, the 114 precinct will also have someone. We'll probably have the NYPD K9. They come, and you know, we just try to show the community that we're here in partnership and that this is community policing, and this is our appreciation for the community on that night. It's always the first Tuesday in August. My NYPD days, I love doing it. I love being out there, and just, I always say, the only way that we can, have a really good community is if we work together. And then just, going over, since we have our meetings every 2 months, just some of the events that happened in the last 2 months and where we're going and what's going on. One thing I like to mention, or I've been thinking about, this chapel right here is what is our cooling center on extreme heat days. Those are days of the heat over 90 degrees. And we open up the chapel, it's air conditioned, people can come here, take a break, be comfortable, if they want to get out of their house or their apartment. And we did have some of those extreme days 2 weeks ago, where we opened up the chapel. Not highly used, but it is here and it is available to the community and anyone who wants to come in and just, cool off. Those hot humidity days, they do wear down on you, and it is necessary just for health reasons that we don't keep, especially, the older, the younger, keep the people out of that heat and humidity, and we do open every day when the temperature is over 90 degrees. We send out advisement, but even if you don't get an advisement, anyone doesn't know, we will be open. We watch the temperature, myself and Bryant, we're in charge of that, and we look forward, and sometimes if it says 89 and maybe 90, we open just to be on the safe side, that we will give people a place where they can come just so that they can be comfortable. And we usually open it up from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And just during whatever day it is, Monday, 7 days a week, and we will be open. And because this is July, we may have some more of those days in August, we will be open again on any of those high heat days. And just a couple of things that have been going on. I come to these meetings for however long I have been doing this, and the one thing that I do notice, looking at the data and what do the statistics say about crime on Roosevelt Island, and what I see is of what we call our 7 major crimes, there's one area, and that area that we have crime is assaults. And we have, for the year, and we don't have that much crime, but for the year we have 12 crimes, and 10 of them are assaults. And those are felony assaults where someone's injured with a weapon, or someone's the type of the injury. We have 10 of those assaults. And the majority of those assaults come from domestic violence incidents. And it's something that I'm working on. It's something that I'm disturbed by. We had an incident yesterday with, and these incidents, they run the gamut. This incident yesterday was with the parent and the child. So, as a community, it's something that we have to work on, get the word out, just so that we can, that there is help. There is, the 114 precinct, they do a phenomenal job with their domestic violence officer, detective, where we have resources that, just even if it's just a social worker or counseling, just so that we can, kind of like run down the temperature on how these episodes, escalate. And that is our major crime. But then we have another issue that I've been talking about all of the time that I come here, and this is mental health. And it's something that it's not only in our community, it's all over, but these mental health issues, when I say, we call it emotional disturb a person. And out of all of our calls, there are about 20 to 25% of our calls for service for someone who needs an ambulance on the island. And that is a lot for a small community like we have. But this is the thing that I say. Yesterday I had 3 of those calls. And what my officers do, we take them to the hospital and so that they could be evaluated. and we hope that there is some help for the people. And then one of the good things is that once there is a call, we try to follow up. Just try to do a check on the person, or maybe talk to their relative. A lot of times these calls, they happen when somebody's not taking their medication. If they have been on medication, or something triggered an event that caused this outburst, where we have to remove them to the hospital. So we're trying to work with the doctors whenever we take someone there, try to get a relative so that we can talk to someone, so that we can keep this down, because a year and a half ago we had the ultimate mental health issue where it escalated, and there was someone who was actually he attacked the police officer, and he was shot and killed. And that is where we don't want to go. We want to keep everyone safe, but we have to stay on top of these issues. The mental health, the domestic violence, it leads to the assaults. One of other than those issues, one of the things that we did around the area of Duane Reade, because the New York City subway is not the jurisdiction of Roosevelt Island Public Safety, but a lot of the people with mental health issues, they're coming out of the subway for some reason on Roosevelt Island. Actually, I know the reason, and they go right into Duane Reade, they shoplift, and then they return back to the subway, retreat back to the subway. So we put an officer in that area. It has dramatically decreased. We were running at about 10 to 15 incidents a week, and now we're down to 1 or 2. The numbers, I try to say the numbers don't lie, I hope that they don't, but what happens is the people, they come out of the subway, they're met by one of our officers, they turn right back around, and they go into the subway. We know who they are, they come out every day, but they do, sometimes when they go into Duane Reade and, it's shoplifting, they're alarming our residents. They're frightening them because of their behavior. So I had to put the officer down there. In that area, they patrol other places, not only Duane Reade, but they're keeping an eye out on that specifically. And the number of crimes have gone down about 95% in that area, just by putting one officer in front of Duane Reade. One of the other things that we do, especially in the summertime, and just because we don't have a huge homeless population, but we find people who take up space and they sleep in some of the buildings after they've been on Roosevelt Island. And I said I know how the homeless got here. Some of them, and not that I don't blame them. I'm not, but during the pandemic, when people were told that they had to exit the subway, some people ended up exiting. Some of the homeless ended up exiting the subway at Roosevelt Island. They came upstairs and they discovered that this was like a wonderful place to be. If you're going to be homeless, wouldn't you want to be in this place? And some of them came back. They said that it was so nice that they came back. Why would they leave? And then we have residents who felt sorry for the homeless, and they gave them money, and they said they're never leaving. But we really did engage with the homeless, try to get them services. I met a number of people who really they needed someone to talk to try to hear their story, try to get them services. And I met a number of people personally. I got my officers involved, and taking a few minutes, that if they see the people who are in need of services and want the services, that we would try as a community law enforcement. That's what we can do. I say, I have great partners with the NYPD. They are very busy, and I don't think that, I can't speak for them, but coming from there, they don't take the time that we have to engage with our residents, because this is the way I feel working here. I feel like I'm part of the community. These are my residents, and I'm here to take care of the residents. Well, and just do whatever I can to, just promote safety and security. And it's a good feeling just knowing that I have the ability to do that. Whenever a resident, comes with a request, especially with safety and security, I'm all ears. I have meetings. Anyone who comes in, I sit down. I want to listen. I want to hear, and I want to, be able to go out there and make the difference in however I can. I did mention that that we had a number of calls of the mental health, and one of the things that our partners who are the 114 precinct, they know that this is very hot and very volatile, that they respond to the island very quickly when they hear that there is a call for emotionally disturbed person. And sometimes they come 2 or 3 cars just because they don't want the incidents to escalate. So that is I say number 1 and number 2 topic, the domestic violence, the mental health, and we are going to stay on top of this. I say as a community, this is just being compassionate, that just to help and take care of our neighbors. It's something that we should want to do. And if it causes that we have to take someone to the hospital to be checked out, then that's what we have to do. It benefits all of us, I believe. And then, like I said, very little crime. One of the things that I was below in manpower for a number of months, just because of, we didn't hire at the pace where officers were leaving. And one of the things that I guess it's the good and the bad, but I have officers who, in the last 3 years, I've had 27 officers leave public safety, but they went to NYPD. So I'm happy for them. They're young. They wanna, they wanna have what I coming from the NYPD myself. I said they want to go to the bigger, more responsible job, and I don't discourage them, but that is a huge turnover. But they are qualified, so we do get very good candidates who come to public safety, the Roosevelt Island Public Safety. We get good candidates. They go through the NYPD process, and I wish them all of the best going to NYPD. And that is a lot of people that I've had to replace in 3 years. But I keep them, I keep more applicants coming in, we interview, and we have a really good relationship with John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and we get a lot of those students who want to go into law enforcement, and they're young and they come here, they're studying, they do a good job, and we welcome them. But then they, my good and my bad, they come here, they do a good job, and they go to NYPD. And I talk to them and I follow up with them, and they say that when they get to NYPD that they feel that they are light years ahead of their other academy mates, just because of the experience that they've gotten here. But the process of becoming a peace officer, Roosevelt Island Public Safety Officer, it takes a little bit of time to get them trained, get them out, get them ready. I can't send them out without being trained. So I have 6 new officers. The last 4 started yesterday and 2 started 2 weeks ago. So that's 6 new officers in 2 weeks to get them trained, get them ready, get them out. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, but they are very eager. When they come in, when I interview them, I tell them. I think I tell them the same speech that I got when I came here from Chief McManus. And he told me when I came here, he said, you have to be willing to work with the community and be willing to work with the community, and everything else is second. And he was right, and that's what I tell the new officers. You have to be willing and ready to work with the community. And Chief McManus told me that. I think he told me that 3 times just to make sure that I heard him the first 2 times. But this is a community that you have to be willing and ready to work with. And the new officers, I try to stress to them that, and I tell them, you know, if that is something that they cannot grasp, that, you know, maybe that this wouldn't be the right place. And that has happened a few times, that, you know, there were officers who come and this isn't the right fit because this is community policing at its best. And that's my focus, that's where I go, and that's my story. So I can take questions. If you guys have any questions, I can answer anything. This is intimate setting, so yes.
What are the hours for the night out against crime?
National Night Out is 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
5 to 8?
I think that's correct.
5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yes, 5 p.m. to 8. This is what we used to do, National Night Out from 6 to 9. But I found that in August, at about 8:15, it starts to get a little dark, you know, and the plaza turns dark, so I pushed it up an hour. So it's from 5 to 9. We have food, we have the favorite, the ice cream truck. Ice cream truck gives out ice cream to every single person until the last person goes home. We have popcorn, but we also, we have officers who are available. One of the good things that we're doing this year, we're registering pets. We're gonna have a registration, and this is something that happened once before or a while back. We have a lot of pets in this community. We really do. So we're going to register and make sure that one of the things that happens that with the number of pets that we have in the community, we have a number of lost pets, lost dogs. Did you see my dog? Did you see my cat? So we're registering the pets so that we can have a record, so that we can know who the owners are. If we come in contact, we're going to have pictures of their pets, and we're going to have files so that we can keep track of the pets that the island residents have. It is, you know, it's something that is so beneficial. I've seen so many people who they lose their pet and they don't know where to turn. We have a good partner that helped us with finding pets, and you know, we go from there. So, any other questions?
Well, you know, there are some communities that when they register pets, they take the dog's DNA, and that when there's dog poop on the ground, they can trace that to the DNA.
I don't know if we're going that far.
Well, that was just a question.
I don't know if we're going. I know we're taking the photos, and we're taking the owner's information, and you know, that's the check.
Crime lines for that.
Yeah.
I have a question. I want to know, my husband and I have been dealing with, we saw a bunch of kittens in the motorcade garage.
Yes.
And talking to Rosanna, she's saying that someone is dropping kittens, we're talking week-old kittens, up on the 17th floor of motorcade. And it's been happening continuously. And I know that motorcade must have some kind of cameras to try and catch the person that's doing it, because he's really just leaving these animals there to die.
See, I don't know, and Rosanna doesn't know for sure if somebody's dropping these kittens off or if there is a cat having kittens, because there is a mother who is taking care of the kittens. We've seen the mother.
Yeah, I don't know what story is true, but
So-
I've seen kittens around that,
It's happened once.
um.
So it happened once in Motorgate and once in the AVAC. And right now there are 2 kittens in AVAC, But our issue, and the kittens that were motorgate, we took to the NSPCA. They took them. But we took those kittens without a mother. The two kittens in AVAC, there is a mother that comes back and forth and is taking care of the kittens. So I don't know if somebody dropped the kittens off or the cat had the kittens. And now,
We don't know, but from what she told us, someone's dropping them there, we don't.
but it's happened twice. So then, like I said, three kittens in Motorgate and 2 kittens down in AVAC. And we know I've seen them. I was going to place the 2 kittens with the ASPCA. They were going to place the 2 kittens, but then the mother came, and so we didn't want to take the kittens with the mother going back and forth. But we do see it, and we saw it. Well, they're being cared for. I mean, they're in AVAC, and they're being fed. The mother, the kittens are there, and you know, I'm not sure where this is going to end up. But the SPCA said they will come and take them if need be. But like I said, there is a mother also who's coming back and forth to the kittens, and I don't know how the whole cat thing works. I don't know if they should take the kittens and leave the mother. I don't know. But I've been in touch with them. I spoke to them this morning. They said, you know, that they can come and, you know, place them.
I just want to make sure it wasn't like someone leaving.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case.
Do you know if the cameras work in the parking lot?
Excuse me?
Do you know if the cameras actually work in the parking
Yes,
lot?
they do. And we didn't see anybody drop off a cat. That's why I said I don't know if that's the case. We didn't see anybody drop off a cat with 2 kittens or 3 kittens. So that's why I said I don't know if that's the case, because we did not see that.
Question about parking and traffic. Seem to notice anybody with like some kind of placard on their dashboard never seems to get any tickets. And there are some spots where I see people park for overnight, most of the next day. Sometimes overnight they get a parking ticket. Now, I don't know if New York City is here giving parking tickets. Can you confirm or deny that? NYPD give parking tickets?
No, NYPD does not give parking tickets.
I'm sorry?
NYPD does not give parking tickets on the island
Okay, so the tickets are from Roosevelt.
from Roosevelt Island Public Safety. So,
It seems like
well,
certain cars are always there, and
Wow.
if there's a different car, that car is like ticketed.
I can
Certain
tell.
cars seem to get special privilege.
I don't.
River Road is a nightmare. With, I guess, diplomats you want to call them. Is there anything that can be done about that, or we just kind of?
No, we don't just. So I'm going to answer. So one of the things that has been the precedent since I've been here, and I do know that there are anybody with a handicap plate, they park on Main Street, and they do not have to move.
Where we have handicap parking specifically for that.
But-
Like River Road.
But there is handicap specific, but that plate allows them to park anywhere without getting a ticket. Now, if they
What
just
do
say
you mean? What
the
plate you're referring
the
to?
handicap parking plate,
The license plate?
no, they have a plaque in the window.
The card on the windshield?
Yes, that allows them to park.
They don't all say handicap.
Well, then if you mention some other plate, then those people get summonses. But handicap, they take up a number of spaces, a lot of spaces on Main Street. And
Can we add more handicap parking?
excuse me,
Can we add more handicap parking?
I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know if that's the answer. I enforce the rules. I don't make the rules. So
Well,
It's just,
I keep-
it's very difficult when you just want to drop packages off. bring them
I've lived on
upstairs.
this island for close to 30 years here, and yes, it's certain times where I just want to park in front of my building, unload my groceries, take them upstairs, come back downstairs, and it seems like there's certain vehicles that look like police cars, whether they are or not,
There are no police cars.
they're not police cars.
They're not police. We don't.
So
One of the things.
impersonating
One. No, there's no impersonating because if,
It's hard to say that this is not a police car. With all the stuff on it, it's hard
where
to
at?
say that it's not.
Tell me where it's at.
Generally, it's parked in front of 625. You're familiar with the front of 625? There's a new yellow area there with slashes in it.
Yes.
It's parked there a lot overnight for more than 24 hours.
I'll look into
And if
it.
it's not there, it's parked right behind it where the yellow is before the school where you're not actually allowed to park either.
I will definitely look at that. I'll have.
And that is, honestly, I think they have a handicap sticker.
They-
And it's a police vehicle, so that just doesn't make any sense.
If they have a handicap sticker,
If it's a police vehicle, there's no
it doesn't.
need for a handicap sticker,
why-
you do understand that.
Why do you say it's a police vehicle?
It looks like an undercover cop car. You have the little round cylinder on the back tail, on the back roof. It has two lights on either side on the top of the windshield. It has lights on the bottom of the windshield. It has reflectors in the bumper.
And they have a handicap plate.
Honestly, I didn't know. No, one of those cards that anybody can print up on their home computer on their front dashboard. Now, I didn't get that close to read it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw two women get out of it that looked perfectly fine. Now, I don't know what handicap you get for it. I'm not saying that they're not handicapped. I'm just saying it's very weird. to
Well,
see
I
this
can't say
vehicle
what
like-
somebody's
to
handicap
see
is.
This type of vehicle with a handicap sticker, if it is. It's just very odd, if you ask me.
Well, this is one of the things I say. If you see that car, give me the license plate and we can look into it.
We also, in instances, we've had people submit tickets through our ticket system for parking issues, and that's another way to get in touch with us, to look into it. The example is, I think it's 405 River Road. There was a lot of parking at the corner there for a while, even though it was a no parking area. And one thing the maintenance crew ended up doing was painting the sidewalk red all the way down to help sort of deter a lot of illegal parking. And to my understanding, from the people that put the ticket in initially, it's actually quite an effective thing that's happened so far over there. But that was reported to us through that system. So that's another way that you can get in touch and let us know what vehicles precisely. Maybe if it's like a repeat offender or something like that. Because that's what prompted the first ticket. It was a bunch of repeat offenders in the same spot.
Alright, so the next time my parents come in, which they have a legitimate handicap sticker, they can park anywhere on Main Street
Yes.
and not have to spend money on lodging or walk over.
You could park on Main Street with the handicap parking plate.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask your name and who you are and what your position is?
I'm Bryant Daniels. I'm the communications director here at RIOC.
Here on Roosevelt Island?
Yeah.
Where would I find you?
Well, my office is in Sports Park, but you can email us or call or reach out to the info email, info@rioc.ny.gov. I also oversee the constituent service department, so that's a big part of how we're communicating with folks in addition to the ticket system and public-facing meetings, stuff like that.
I'm not concerned with tickets, may I ask if are there a lot of public safety on vacation? Have they quit? Because there are very few, even visible on the street.
No, they're not on vacation.
They're not.
They're visible if you went out.
Remember that. No, they're not. I've had to go into public safety several times to ask somebody, is there a public safety around, like yesterday? And she said to me, yeah, there's two out there. As a matter of fact, there's three. I'm not sure what the position of the public safety
they could be inspected or.
So there was a car that was just sitting double parked with its blinker on in front of, I'm 546, I guess that's 540 with the overhead where you can sit under. Anyway, there's a gentleman who always sits there with the plastic Bluetooth dogs, and they sit and they smoke or whatever. A car came through, stopped there, put his blinkers on, and they were there for about 20 minutes. And for no reason, not to drop off or pick up packages or a person. They were passing marijuana back and forth to each other, in and out of the car. Two guys were sitting there, the driver, I mean, it was just like a chill time for a few minutes. Quite a few, 20. And it was disgusting to me. And so I looked around, there were no public safety visibly available when I went into the office. The only ones on site were Miss Millie, who was crossing the children, someone else, and then I don't want to misquote his position, but he had a white shirt on as opposed to a full blue uniform, and I told him about it. I said, step to the side to the curb and look up. And he could look up the block and see the car double parked there, and he was headed for it like a bat out of heck. But by the time he got there, I am going to assume, which is not good, that one of the guys said, you know, go ahead, or I'll see you later, or whatever, because before he could reach them, the car pulled off. But my thing is, if there were more public safety available, because they're not out there, they're not available for much, and they've been kind of scarce lately. There have been more U-turns made right here in front of Nisi, where the bus stop is right there. More U-turns recklessly than I've ever seen. And I have had to flag down a public safety and say to them, did you not just see that car? They give the lamest excuses. Okay, I don't know, I'm not from here. That's fine, you may not be from here, but you can read. You can read that sign with a big no U-turn, and they'll make a U-turn right there in the crosswalk. And it's just, my question, I guess, it's not even a question, it's a statement. Like, some public safety do what they have to do. They'll stop that car and, you know, say what they say or give them summonses. But is it going to take for somebody to get hit in that crosswalk, an elderly person that doesn't have the speed of myself or yourself, or one with a stroller, in order for something to take place? Does it always have to be something tragic in order for attention to be brought to that? Because people are recklessly making U-turns on this island, and someone's going to get hit and hurt.
And we do try to police that. But you know, throwing out statistics, it doesn't really serve the purpose, because I could say, you know, we gave out, you know, 60 U-turn summonses in the last 3 months, but that doesn't make a difference if somebody gets hit on that one time where we weren't there. So we do give out a number of summonses.
I think the summons was my basis. I think the presence of public safety is my bottom line. Because if there was a public safety standing there on either side, I doubt very seriously if someone would recklessly make a U-turn.
Well, we do have a post out there. Is that person out there, you know, every time that you walk by? I can't say that. They do answer calls. They do go to different assignments. And so that can take them away from being outside at that time when you come out. But we do.
It's not even me. Don't do that, because I've got other things I want to say, but I'm not, because then that would take me out of my professional realm. When you come at me like that, it's not a problem. No, I mean, it's not when I come out. This is
No, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you per se. I'm saying that when a person comes and they look and they say, "Why isn't the officer here?" The officer could be on assignment. The officer, there is a post that's assigned there every single day. Every single day, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 p.m. There is a post that's assigned there. Now,
Right. Say it again.
I said, someone should be there. You're saying someone should be there.
yeah, but that post,
I've driven down Main Street in the afternoon because you can't make a U-turn to get off this island once you come this way off the U-turn, off the Corksboro, once you come this way, you have to go through the main street. And when you drive through Main Street, you have trucks, cars, everybody double parked. And you got people coming at you that don't give a crap and won't let you go. You got people going this way that want to stop there and don't give a crap. And I tell you, I've seen at times 3 of your guys standing there with their hands in their pockets doing nothing. And people are fighting to get by, beating at each other. So now you're going to tell me that somebody has a post there? It should be there, sir.
That's right, but that's their post and that's where
Get
it
someone else
should
to
be.
go in that other corner.
No, but that's not the way post. No, that's not the way post works. That's not the way post works. That you answer.
And there are 3 or 4 of them with 6-digit incomes. I just think,
All right, I think
But the thing
we've
is-
lingered on this for a while.
Yeah.
I think we can, let's move on. Frank has a
that's the
question.
problem. Everything's always dismissed. You always want to.
No, we're not, I'm not dismissing.
Quite a lot.
Your car's driving around without headlights. You have one headlight out. Months went by. I saw the guy in the white shirt, who I believe is a little higher in the department than the regular guys walking around. I saw him coming out from underneath the parking garage where the mail trucks go, and then there's a little shop over there. I questioned him. I said, "Do you know you have a headlight out?" "Yes." I said, "Do you think you should get it fixed? It's been a couple of weeks." His excuse was BS. Okay? You know how long his car would be down for 3 weeks to take it to the dealer and
But
get
that's a bad excuse. They have to get it fixed.
BS excuse. Okay? Now, if you have a shop there, there's a Pep Boys down the road. In less than 3 weeks, someone could go to Pep Boys, get it, and have one of the guys in the maintenance there do it. Do you do oil changes on your vehicles? Who does the oil changes? Who services your vehicle?
We service our own vehicles.
Where?
In the shop.
Underneath the parking
Yes.
garage? There you go. Why
Yeah.
the guy can be such a BS?
Yeah, they
This
service.
is the way public safety operates.
Well, no,
In my
that's not.
opinion, my 28 years on this island, that's my opinion.
Okay. We're all entitled to our opinions.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Frank.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Daniels. And my apologies for being late, but I was taking a FEMA training class on caregivers during disasters. So, I wanted to point out something that I noticed in the past 2 weeks, which is you now have the flashing stop sign in front of the school. Enhanced conspicuity, as we say, in traffic regulation. Fantastic idea. Please repeat that at this intersection here, okay? Another good one, which is dangerous, is the one right by, I want to say 10 River Road. It's not really, it's the Food Town crosswalk, okay? And at least those are some of your main hot spots, especially at nighttime. And they really seem to work. Well, I guess we got a lot of sunlight now. Hopefully they'll still work, in the wintertime. But
Yeah.
that's really great work. I was so glad to see that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we'll see that.
That would be, even if someone or public safety couldn't be at that post. I agree with you, Frank. I probably, those flashing lights at a stop sign will grab a driver's attention, whether they're a resident or a non-resident. That's a good idea because these cars, some of these cars, they blow smoothly right through the stop sign. Almost hit the Scabby. You know the Scabby? She's legally blind. Oh, just this turn. And that's why I'm freaking out about that crosswalk. But those flashing lights on that stop sign, I agree with Frank. That's a very good
I think that this is the pilot, and then we're going to see where we put them.
Yeah, we spoke about it actually before you walked in. So we put them in that location. It's a school. We wanted to make sure that, if we're going to test it out, they're solar powered. So,
Right.
we want to make sure that they work well on the island, and locating them there seems to be the best idea. But we are looking into expanding it where we can and hopefully not run into any type of power issues.
You've heard me say before, the visibility of pedestrians as a motorist, the visibility of pedestrians, and in particular the one by Food Town is extremely poor. And then
So
some
I
of
think
the
that
other-
that's going into the traffic study also, where
Right.
they're supposed to replace a number of the signs on the island. And, you know, that, I think that would be the first one to go.
Yeah, we're actually, so on that note, just because Chief brought it up, we've been working on this roadways project for a while, gathering information and stuff. We're gonna do a community working group like we did in April for the tram, where hopefully we can bring RIOC personnel and members of the community together to do like a Teams meeting to go over where that project currently stands, and signage is a big part of that, in addition to repaving the roadways. So the communication on that, we're hoping to launch it in August. So an advisory will go out, I believe next week, inviting people if they're interested in participating to sign up through the link there. And then we'll do a meeting, I think second week in August, sort of an intro meeting saying where the project is, go over the information we've gathered so far, and then let people go over that and sort of mull it over and reconvene then, I think, a couple weeks later for a follow-up on it. So that probably we'll announce that, I think, next week.
I'll just say one minor nit on the line striping. Everything looks great. They did a good job on the helix, which is an opportunity to mess up, you know, on that. It looked fine. The three legs of the stop sign, the intersection at the bottom of the helix, they forgot to write the word stop on the northbound side. They got the other two sides. So,
Is that at the bottom of the helix?
what?
At the bottom of the helix?
At the bottom, yeah, on the northbound side, you know, it splits, right? And all of the other legs have the word, and all of the other intersections have the word stop. They must have missed that.
Flag for maintenance.
Yeah.
So do you have the staffing level to permit a PSD officer to walk up and down Main Street permanently?
Yes. Yes.
And that in the event there's some need for a service call elsewhere, to have somebody else go and just
No,
have that?
That's not the way that post works. That post works that they're on Main Street and that they handle any calls of service on Main Street.
One officer?
Yes, one officer.
So then they should be
There's
able
not
to,
that many calls, but there are a few calls, and that officer, that's the way policing is working in every place in America. That officer handles the calls on their post.
I think the issue is not the calls, it's the issue of observing a traffic problem and then being able to react to it by issuing a summons.
Well, a lot of times we're alert. Well, you're saying that this just initial a U-turn. Did it happen? I've sat out there and I've seen U-turns, so I've seen them happen when there's not an officer there. But I've also seen an officer be there and they write them summonses. One of the things we try to be there, you know, assigned to their post and be on their post as often as possible. Do they get called away? Yes. Yes, they do. And at that time, you know, we try to backfill them because that is an important post. But you know, in art, sometimes they don't catch it. But you know, we are there. There was somebody assigned.
Just on another issue then, in the past there have been problems.
Well, for instance, like say that the don't park trucks, they direct the traffic because we've had this issue with the businesses and they get deliveries. So in the morning, you see them out there. There's usually an officer directing the traffic around the trucks. Is that something that person is now taken away from the person who made the U-turn? That's just for instance when it could happen.
Maybe if there weren't so many people with handicap parking directly in front of the building, there would be room for these trucks to operate without interfering with the normal traffic.
Maybe.
Can you tell me what they're doing underneath the helix, whatever, in the vents on top there? Building construction? Or is it
One of the things that happened, and I call it the trickle-down effect. There was a building collapse in Manhattan last year, right? Or the year before? And with that building collapse in Manhattan, every parking garage must be inspected by the Department of Buildings. And so now we have a parking garage, which is Motorgate, and they have to be inspected by the Department of Buildings. So they're coming out, it's intensive, it's been going on for a couple of weeks, and they're looking for any type of violation, any type of defect, and that's what's going on down there, that they're inspecting the parking garage.
Okay, why are the nets there?
Excuse me?
Why are the nets there? Why are the nets screwed to the bottom of the concrete up there? Is that in danger of stuff falling?
They noticed a little bit of cracking in the concrete. It's not a structural thing. There's no,
Yeah, they don't want
problem
something to fall down.
with the actual helix, but there was some concrete that was cracking. So they told us it probably makes sense to put the netting up and then redo it. Apparently, I was talking to the maintenance guy about this actually recently, because there's just so much traffic on that helix. This happens from time to time where the concrete, after a while, 4, 5, 6 years, it starts to crack a little bit. And so, like the chief said, we had them come out and inspect. They noticed some of the cracking. I don't think we saw anything fall, but they saw enough to say you should put netting up and get to it.
To prevent it.
So that's what they've been doing right now.
So there have been a lot of problems at the 460 building, and I know there's been some work between PSD and the building social services there. Is there any update as to what's going on?
I have a meeting with them Thursday. The problems that were there is still there. It's mostly disorderly. But there have been, like I said, the mental health issues, a lot of new people in the buildings, and they have what they call their social workers on site. That's called breaking ground. They've been trying to work with the residents and the tenants there, but there have been a number of calls there.
Yeah, NYPD seems to be there almost every day.
Yeah, they are. They are. But they're trying. I had a meeting with the building managers today. They're trying their best to get the tenants or residents who need these social services, get them social services. Because just because it's available, people are not using it. And they have some issues down at the building with mental health.
We are coming up on 7 o'clock. Any final questions?
Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll look at those cars. I'll definitely have my guys, make sure that they go down. The handicap, that's just a subject that has been brought to RIOC leadership, and they've decided to let the handicap stay there. Anybody else? And cars that look like police cars that are anybody else, I will guarantee you that they will be dealt with.
Did Roosevelt Island paint that yellow mark on the ground?
Where are we talking?
Where at? Oh, by the school, by 615.
The yellow water with slashes. I honestly don't know what it means. Does it mean special parking? Does it mean no parking?
I know the answers because I went through this. It means you cannot park there. So I'll give you.
But
No, it's not handicapped.
No.
It's not parking for anyone.
I mean, you guys drive down the street all the time. I just can't understand how you guys just don't see it.
Well, I'm not again. That's a policy question. I'm just saying, in terms of traffic law, that you can't park there.
Okay.
The question I thought you were going to ask was, why the deli, they had the white one, and that was questionable. Now that it's yellow, I think that's a better.
Well, it's fairly new, there's no sign that says anything, it's just all of a sudden yellow.
I'll go look at that sign.
Right, that you'll find that out in the streets in Astoria, you'll see that. Like I said, I look for this to try to understand what it is, but definitely means you can't park.
Yeah, yellow means you can't park.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night.